Hello, we are looking at Store Locator Plus. This is the January 2023 release we're looking at that is getting ready to be published here this week. And we're looking at a report that the phone number labels are not showing up by default for locations. And that is by design. It is something we are going to discuss for future releases, whether or not to make the default have the labels. So we'll discuss that and make that decision in one of the next updates that we put out. But for now, I have my development system here and it is showing what the default settings are. So there's two things we want to focus on with the output. These results layout here determines what goes in these boxes and how they look. And the other one is the label, of course, under the labels section for phone. So the first thing is that the default code for the phone number only outputs the phone data itself. So if we look through all this here, and we can, if you're looking through it and trying to find stuff, sometimes it's easier to split this apart. So I'm going to just start splitting it apart and look for that phone number element here. It's after the country. Here it is right here. So this is where our phone number element is. Don't worry about adding extra white space. It will remove extra white space. It makes it a lot faster to process, a lot less memory footprint in the browsers for your site visitors. So that's why it strips out the extra white space, in case you were wondering. A little harder to read and edit, but something that you can put in a separate text editor and format, do all sorts of stuff, and then paste it back in. So anyway, here we are back to this field here, SLP location phone, and this needs to actually be set. This is in the user documentation. I'm going to look at my dev notes here. But one of the data points that's available for current locations is phone with label. You can see it prefixes that for each location. So that's what we want to use, not SLP location. We want to use SLP location phone with label. So why don't we just change that to automatically add that out of the box? We have a lot of pre-existing sites. If we did that and the phone started showing up, people who have sites that have looked a certain way for years will start hitting us up in support and overloading our forums saying, hey, this changed, suddenly the name phone showing up on my results. So if you have a site and you want that, you're going to need to edit the results layout and add that attribute. And then you'll see here that it's going to show up with the phone. Now there's another thing that people often say is an issue here with the phone. It's missing that space. The reason for that is we don't want to automatically add white space. Web developers and web designers can be very particular in how they want the layout to look, and they want to be able to either add the space or leave it out. Sometimes they'll do something like phone colon and put that in there, and they don't want a space after that. Some do. So the easiest fix to that, just add a space after the word phone and hit save. Again, that's something we'll discuss internally for one of the next releases, whether or not we want to add spaces after these labels and have that be the default and allow people to go and take them out. It's probably the prudent choice. And also whether or not we want the default out-of-the-box layout to have labels. Probably do. That's something we will discuss internally as well, but we also welcome everyone's feedback. So if you're using Store Locator Plus and you have input, advice, feedback, please let us know. We try to make sure we meet our customer needs, and sometimes we need to make decisions. If we have some people saying, yes, do it this way, and other people saying, no, do it that way, we try to do what's the most common, most desired output for people. So that's the fixes for getting the phone label to show up out of the box with the default settings for Store Locator Plus. Again, January 2023 release. There will be more updates coming soon.